Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, don't you see? That ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only wanna be with you.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast. On the show this week we have all the action and reaction from that win against Peterborough United at Adams Park on Saturday, and Ross Barlow joins us for Till Death Us Do Parts. But first, let's head to Mexico City for the full Liga One results with Uri and some Chairboys Spanish.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Blackpool 1, Barnsley 2, Bolton Wanderers 2, Burton Albion 1, Cambridge United 2, Wigan Athletic 0, Charlton Athletic 1, Stockport County 1, Huddersfield Town 3, Bristol Rovers 1, Lincoln City 1, Birmingham City 3, Mansfield Town 0, Stevenage 1, Northampton Town 1, Leyton Orient 0, Rotherham United 0, Wrexham 1, Reading 4, Crawley Town 1, Wycombe Wanderers 3, Peterborough United 1. So Richard Kone scored the perfect hat trick. Left foot, header, and then right foot. So, okay, Chairboys Spanish this week, the perfect hat trick. Okay, so that one is very, very, very easy. Because how do we say perfect? Perfecto. And hat trick, we actually say hat trick too in Spanish. But how do we say trick? Okay, trick, truco. Trick, truco. And how do we say hat? Well, hat is sombrero. Sombrero. But what does sombra means? Sombra, as in somber. Somber is shadow. So hat in Spanish is something like shadower. Sombrero. Now you learn something. And okay, bonus track in Chairboy Spanish. How do we say foot? Well, we say pie. Foot, pie. How do we say left? Izquierdo. Left foot, pie izquierdo. How do we say right? Well, we say derecho. Right foot, pie derecho. And how do we say head? Well, we say cabeza. How do we say header? Cabezazo. Okay, so the hat trick was pie izquierdo, cabezazo, and then pie derecho. That's all for this week, and back to England with my amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. We're very excited because we are on the top table. We are third, having a great campaign. Go, Wycombe Wanderers. Adios.
Cheers, Uri. Right then, Wycombe Wanderers took on Peterborough United for the early kick-off on Saturday. It poured with rain in the morning, but the sun came out in the afternoon. Here's what happened, and Belly Labala joined us on commentary.
Humphries. Poku on the ball now, right-hand side. Having a run at Dan Harvey. A couple of little step overs now as he approaches the corner of the penalty area. Low cross, goes right across the back post and it's there. Jones taps in at the back post, but Poku was the architect. A fantastic ball across the face of goal, and Jones was there to turn it in at the back post for his fourth of the season, and it's Wycombe 0, Peterborough 1. Poku there with the skills, Bez, that's really unlocked the door there.
Yeah, even during the week we highlighted that was one of their main threats. So, but it's still good play. It's all good play. I think Dan Harvey's done the right thing, slowed him down, and he's done a deep cross. And yes, it's a well-deserved goal from that play.
They call it the corridor of uncertainty there, but he put it straight down the middle of that. There's another player sliding in. Mothersill was inches away from connecting as well. And Wycombe Wanderers, if they want to continue their good run, need to find a couple of goals here in this second half. Onidimma making way.
Yeah, I think Dan will move left. Rich will go up top.
Richard Kone on. Humphreys makes way as well for Luke Leahy. Subs on 61 minutes. But if you're on the bench, and it's a good time to come on, isn't it? Because there's so much of this game left to make your impression, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Coming on with still 30 minutes to go, it's a great time to come on. And our team knows that as well. Finishers know that the gaffer calls them finishers, so know to be ready to come on to make an impact in the game. And Luke Leahy and Richard Kone can really do that for us.
This is Grimmer, right wing. McCleary continues his run. Lovely stuff from Wycombe. Chips it to the edge of the box. Kone takes it on his chest, goes for goal, and scores! Welcome to the game, Richard Kone. Gareth McCleary with the assist, and Kone chested it down. I think it took a deflection, but Richard Kone doesn't care. He's made a goals, this boy. It's Wycombe 1, Peterborough 1.
Yes, Richard. That is what I'm talking about.
Talk me through that, because it's come to him. He's not panicked and gone, I've got to hit this first time. He's under pressure. He's taken it down on his chest. It's on his left foot. How do you keep your head in that situation, Bez?
Just composed. You know what? He knows he's in the box. He knows if anyone makes a rash tackle, it could be a penalty. So sometimes you've got more time than you think. So just him being composed and striking through the ball. That was excellent. Great goal.
Fourth league goal of the season for Richard Kone. His story is magnificent, and it gets better week on week. Harvey with the long throw for Wycombe Wanderers into the box now. Headed clear by Jones, but it goes to Scowen, who hits it first time. And then Kone up again! Yes! We won! Richard Kone! The fox in the box. Scowen sliced his shot. It spun up into the air. Time stood still, but Richard Kone didn't. The instinctive flick had Steer scrambling. He slid into the post, and the net bulged. Wycombe 2, Peterborough 1. Take a bow, Richard Kone. Grimmer uses McCleary, and now Kone, who is on a hat-trick, wins the throw for Wycombe Wanderers on that far side. And we talked about Peterborough having a swagger at 1-0, but all of a sudden they've gone from swaggering around now to being, heads have dropped a little bit, and they're on the ropes a little.
No, definitely, and I think we're doing the right things. Throwing it in there, making them defend. They're a young team under the cosh, so we've got to keep them under stress.
Long throw into the box. Harvey goes for goal. Great connection with his right foot. It's blocked. Morley, though, onto the loose ball. Grimmer sets himself for the cross. And then that's a penalty.
Get your hat-trick, Rich. Get the hat-trick.
Not sure what it's for. Is it a handball? Is it a foul? We're not sure, but Ben's just screaming for Rich to have the ball here. And it's a second yellow for Fernandez, who's off. Well, this is a double blow for Peterborough. Fernandez, we talked about what a great player he's been for Peterborough this game. The skipper has been sent off, and Wycombe Wanderers have a penalty. Luke Lee, he's got the ball in his hands. So it could be the subs here with the goals. Does Rich take penalties? I'm sure he does.
To be fair, for me, Luke would be there. He'll be the best penalty taker.
This is why this is a tight-knit team, and it's a team game, because we all know at 71 minutes, 3-1 is a big scoreline against 10 men. He's got to score the penalty, of course.
Of course, yeah. But Luke will be the best penalty taker to do so.
And
but he has scored 2 goals. You know what I would be doing?
Strikers Union, Bez.
You know
Strikers
what I would
Union.
All right, there we go.
Luke's obviously playing with a headset on and listening to us. Richard Kone for the hat-trick. After the first goal, we said about the stories were to be written by Richard Kone. hat-trick in the Football League
Come on, Rich.
would be a great chapter. Can he do it from the penalty spot? 71 minutes on the clock, up against Jed Steer, dancing around on his line. The
Take
right
your time,
foot
Rich.
of
Take your
Richard
time.
Kone. Here he comes. Richard Kone with an 11-minute hat-trick at Adams Park. He's lit up Wycombe Wanderers with his goals. He's lit up Adams Park with his smile. And he's turned this game around. It's Wycombe Wanderers 3, Peterborough United 1. And if there's anyone more delighted than Richard Kone, it's Barry Labala. Talk me through it, Bez.
You know what the thing is? I knew where Rich was going because we practiced this in training quite a lot. Me, Rich, Lukey, a few players practice, and he always likes to reverse, but he's done it perfect today. Great strike, great speed on it. Even if the keeper went the right way, I think it goes in. It was a flash straight into the goal.
I've not seen the goals around the grounds today, but Kwame Poku was the leading goal scorer in League One on 6 goals coming into this game. Richard Kone has now joined him on 6 league goals for the season.
There you go. Only takes one game. Only takes about 15 minutes.
It's not over yet.
Home game, another 3 points. Congratulations.
Thank you. We just knew that we were up against such good opposition today. We spoke about it before the game. Peterborough are a top team, always at this level, always looking to get out the division into the Championship. We know there's been some turnover in terms of their squad, and they've got a couple of big players missing through injury. But it's lovely to get the win because again we know what a top team Peterborough are. So it's a nice win for us.
At 1-0 though, there wasn't any panic, was there? Wycombe sort of took a few minutes to find their stride again, but got back in the game very quickly.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent game to start off with. I thought it was a very, very good game. I thought there was a few rough moments for us where if it had gone the other way, it could have ended up with a different result. But there's also some really good opportunities for us, especially in the first half when turnovers, the press high up the pitch. So it was a good game between two good teams. And it had its moments both ends. But as I said before, for us to come away with a result against such good opposition, we have to be really, really pleased.
You call your substitutes finishers, and they certainly were today.
Yeah, I think it's really important. We've spoken about it a number of times. And it's really important for us to believe in that because we've accumulated and assembled the group that we have. For example, the Aston Villa game, I felt it was really, really important. We put the trust in that group to go and play. It's really important for us to keep relaying that message to the boys. And I think the evidence off the back of the first 15 games of the season, I think it is now, is it 10 League and 5 Cup we've played, that they're having an impact in the last half an hour. So, yeah, it's interesting how that dynamic works, and the boys have been really, really respectful in terms of the way that they've dealt with the squad rotation and everything else. So I thought, as well as Richie, I thought Lukey had a massive impact in the game. I just felt like Cam and Josh had pressed so high and expended so much energy in the first half. Cam just looked like his energy levels were dropping, him and Joshy both at the same time. It was which one do you go with? And we felt Lukey's he's a people influencer, Lukey. He just has such an impact on himself, but everyone around him as well. And we just felt that his character as well as his play could help us. And Richard, what a whirlwind story. And he's got some big chapters yet to write, but this was a big milestone today, first hat-trick in the Football League. Yeah, we love him to bits. As a boy, we absolutely love him to bits. That has to be the first thought about him because he's such a humble boy. He just goes about his work. You're smiling about him. We love him. We absolutely love him. We know that there's loads to learn with him, so we have to be careful not to heap too much on his shoulders. I think it's incredible that he's got a mentor and a guardian like Dan Udo in the building now. You should see the relationship those two guys have. I thought Dan was excellent for the first 55 minutes, an hour that he was up front. Then he goes on the left wing and really selfless for the team. And Rich comes on and gets the headlines. But he's a really, really lovely boy, Rich, and we've got high hopes for him.
I think he calls Gareth McCleary Uncle G, and the assist for Gareth McCleary was topped off a sublime performance from him too.
Yeah, he's a bit cheeky because I think Dan gets a few uncles from Rich as well. But it's lovely that those senior boys look after him, and Gids and some of the other younger boys we've got within the group, they take care of him. Disco, you've seen it at the training ground and around here. G-Mac's been playing some fantastic football for us. He works, and he's a lesson. He's a real story for the younger boys to look at him and learn off him because of the way he conducts himself, the way he looks after himself, the way he's so diligent in his gym work and everything he does. So we hope that he can keep going for a while yet.
Now that's 10 league games on the board now, and we always say that the table makes sense after 10 games as to when we look at it. And I know it's the early kick-off today, there's more games to come, but Wycombe are right up there.
Yeah, I think it's testament to the group for the work they've done in pre-season and gone about it. But, I'm going to bore you. There's nothing happened yet. We're in October and we've got a tough game at Burton on Tuesday night. I think you know me well enough by now, my desire for the group to keep improving. There were some things today that wasn't quite right, so we have to analyse that and try and improve on that. But I think today's result is probably a reflection on the group, the work that the boys have done in the last 2 weeks and the way that they've gone and applied themselves. So, yeah, it's fantastic for them and they enjoyed that in there after the game.
That must be exciting, though, because results and momentum is good, but you're still seeing things, we can do that better, we can do that. And this sort of marginal gains that football gives you must be excited by that prospect too. Yeah,
most certainly so. I think it's something that we're always after, that improvement, that the way that we want to get better and the way we want to evolve. And there's always going to be things to pick out. You've got to be careful that you don't overload the information with the boys, but yeah, there's always going to be something we want to go after, and there's certainly plenty today. And we've done that for the last time we've been in the building, and we'll certainly have that desire and hunger to keep moving that forward.
Tuesday will be with us very soon. What's the next few days look like?
Yeah, get home and see my girls tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing them and enjoying the Saturday evenings. Seeing them and enjoying results is certainly better when you win. So I'm going to try and relax this evening, and enjoy some time with them. And the laptop will be out tomorrow morning. We'll be watching Burton. I'll be watching this back and going to watch Rosie. Rosie's got football in the morning, so I'm going to go and watch her. Which she's got the bug, she loves it. So go and that, and just start analysing, making sure we're ready, because Monday morning comes around quick. We've got to make sure we have a group that's travelling to Burton on Monday afternoon that's able to run and press and play with the intensity and the identity that we've got. And those decisions come around really, really quick with these quick turnarounds. So it'll be a busy weekend, but we have to enjoy those moments and get ready to go again.
Rich, congratulations. 3 points and 3 goals today. Marvellous.
Yeah, it was good. A good, really good performance from the boys, and to top it with a hat-trick. I can't ask for more.
You came on, was it your first involvement in the game, the first goal, and you came off the bench on 61 minutes?
Yeah. I don't even remember how, what happened, and it landed to me. Yeah, G-Mark. So down the line, cross it back to me, and I just have a shot in there, and I think someone deflected it, but it still went in. So yeah, I was happy to get that goal and get us back in the game and keep on pushing, and we get 2 more goals. So yeah, it was good.
The second one, we look back on the commentary, we just called it striker's instinct because it was an awkward ball spinning, but you only had one thing on your mind.
Yeah. So when I get to the box and I saw the ball was coming down, I was like, how am I going to head it? I just headed it backward, like, so that someone just tried, but he went straight in the goal. So I was like, yes. And I didn't look where the goalkeeper was. Well, yeah, hopefully for me, he landed in the net. So yeah, we take that.
Absolutely take that. And then the penalty as well. Luke Lee, he stepped up originally. What's the story there?
With Luke, because I'm in a hat-trick, obviously he was going to give it to me, but he needs to do, he's Luke. He always doing that. So yeah, I knew he was going to give it to me. So I stepped aside. And then when he was ready, he just gave it me back. So yeah, thank you to him for letting me have it. So yeah.
I've seen a few teams do this now where someone will go up to the spot and they'll sort of take the heat out of the situation and allow the actual taker a bit of headspace to clear their mind. Is that how it worked?
Yeah. I think that really helped as well, because the goalkeeper will be focused on the one standing at the spot, while he's not the one taking it. So yeah, I think he's really good. Like, give you time, maybe second, to think about where you're gonna go. And yeah, I think that's a good technique as well.
A great penalty. Describe the feeling. First Football League hat-trick when that ball hit the back of the net.
Bro. I don't know. It's just like something you can't explain. It's just a good feeling, though. I've never scored a hat-trick before in the Football League, so this one is really huge, and I'm going to remember this day. So, yeah.
It's a perfect hat-trick. Left foot, right foot, and a header.
Oh, now you mention it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That could have been perfect. Yeah. Now you mentioned it. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it was a good one. Like, it wouldn't have been possible without the first half. The boys, what they put in the shift, battle, defending the goal. Obviously, we conceded the goal straight off when we come out, but we've been there before, conceding goals and come back from there. So our mentality never gonna drop. No matter how many goals we concede, we're still gonna fight and come back. So yeah, that was good on the boys.
Great squad mentality as well, like you said, to come back from behind, but also the belief from the bench, and you coming on 60 minutes is a huge chunk of the game remaining to really make an impact, and what an impact, by the way.
Yeah. We I think this season the mentality that we have is really, really, really good because we never give up. No matter how many goals we concede, we still know that we got the threat, we got the players, the quality that we got in this team to get back to the game. So no one's, even when they scored, we were like, oh, but we knew, like, come on the boys, we know we scored. So yeah, it's really good. The squad is really good, positive, everything is all right. So we're all happy.
January the 1st this year, you signed your contract. We're in October now. This is some story you're writing at Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah. It's going to be a year now. So we see what's going to happen, but I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be here and for the chance that they took with me. So I'm going to keep on fighting and give it back to them.
We're enjoying it too, Rich. Keep it up. Great to hear from the gaffer and Richard Kone. The Peterborough fans, well, they don't win at Adams Park and they lost again. Here's their thoughts in the opposition view. Kyle.
We'll probably never win at Wycombe, but that was absolutely embarrassing again. Yet another collapse of the highest order. Poor recruitment equals crap performances. I mean, even by our standards, that was some capitulation. A blooming 10-minute hat-trick from their sub?
The Posh Blog.
Wow, that were bad. Even a non-league team wouldn't concede 3 goals every game in League One. We're not a shambles at the back, and I'm not just talking about the predictable second half collapse. The first half, wow, truly awful. We must have given them the ball 15 to 20 times, straight from our back 4.
JL.
If you just ignore the defending, passing, goalkeeping, dribbling, crossing, shooting, marking, and tactics, we're probably the best team in the league.
Ryan Clark, 82.
A horrific deflection, a freak slice and header, and then a ludicrous handball. You really couldn't make it up.
Cast product.
An horrible deflection was because we gave their unmarked centre-forward 11 squillion hours to bring the ball down and get a shot away. The freak header was from Wallin watching his man do whatever he wanted, and the ludicrous handball could have been avoided if Manny didn't have a brain fart and get himself sent off as captain. You couldn't make such awful defending up.
Live.
As soon as Kone came on, it was clear that he needed to be watched. We should have done what other teams used to do to Mason Clark last season and put 2 on him.
Posh in Devon.
We were very poor for the first 39 minutes, but finished the half much better. We also started the second well, and after the goal showed real intent for about 15 minutes to get another. After they scored, we just folded.
Bob Tanner.
I've no problem with that result. And for the first time in years, I have to congratulate Wycombe. They have a good-looking side that should do well. But how on earth did the linesman miss the foul throw for their second goal?
CM Posh, 1991.
Our expected goals conceded is only 14.5, and yet, in reality, we've shipped 24. At least that suggests there might be room for improvement.
Tom Jeffries.
If you have to score 4 goals a game to even have a chance of winning, you're going to lose more often than not. But we may as well just give Wycombe the 3 points at their place every year. Saves us the trouble of playing, and we can all have a rest for a week.
Nelson PK.
I mean, honestly, Wycombe aren't all that, are they?
Supporting a football club is like a marriage. Your club is there for life through the good times and the bad. We ask Chairboys fans for their most cherished old memory, their current favourite player, the best borrowed player we've ever had, and for something blue, we talk club merchandise. Okay, it's Till Death Us Do Part, and this week we are talking to a guy I've been wanting to have on this feature for a long, long time. He's in Ecuador, and his name is Ross Barlow. Ross, massive Wycombe fan. Great to see you. Looking so well. How are you?
Thanks very much, Phil. Great to be here. Lovely to see you, mate. It's been a while.
It has been a while. So am I right? You're in Ecuador? Because I try and keep track of where you are, but you're in Ecuador now, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. So I'm basically semi-retired in Ecuador. I go back to Norway, hence my handle of North's Quarters. I was there for a best part of 20 years, and now I go for a couple of months, do some hard work, and then come back and relax the other 10.
When I first met you, you were living in the Cayman Islands. I wasn't in the Cayman. You were visiting London and popped along to the pub to meet some Wycombe fans in London and said that you were from the Cayman Islands. So the big question is, Ross, where does Wycombe Wanderers fit into your varied globetrotting life?
Well, it's a good question, Phil. I mean, I grew up in the Cayman Islands, so I was there from 2 years old. But before that, I was actually born in Wycombe. But I had no idea of Wycombe Wanderers. Obviously, I was a young child when I came to Cayman, and then I eventually went to school in England. And at 13 years old, the first question the boys asked me was, "Well, what team do you support?" And I said, "Well, I don't really know. I haven't really followed football." And they said, "Well, where were you born?" I said, "I was born in Wycombe." "Oh, well, then you're Wycombe Wanderers." So that was it, and that was the start of the story. In the 1991, I really started, and that was a great time to start in football.
Absolutely was, yeah. First trip to Wembley that year as well. So you're an avid follower nowadays. I see you messaging regularly during games from various rainforests or European cities or parts of Scandinavia. So it's always great to have you there. But you know, we should also add some context here as well. You're the former kit man of Wycombe Wanderers too.
Well, that's right, Phil. It was a real honour to play that role in the inaugural championship season for Wycombe. So I really feel like there's been a continuity. I got the first season in the Football League back in the day, and then in addition, then I got to work for Wycombe and actually travel around with the team for that first season in the championship. First of many, we hope, in the future. Here
Absolutely. And, you know, also that was obviously during the pandemic. So there were hardly anybody at these games, but you were not only at the games, you were playing your part.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a supporter first and foremost, really. So I know some of the staff were a little bit iffy on some of my calling and shouting during the match, but the gaffer seemed to like it, and I was always 100% behind the team. So good times. It was so sad that the fans weren't there apart from me there on me Todd on the sidelines cheering the team on, but. Good memories.
Yeah, for context, if you're watching this and you remember watching all those games online, Wycombe in the Championship, and hearing what sounded like a fan's voice booming out across empty stadiums, that was Ross. So here he is. So you can, there he is. It's good to connect the dots on Ringing the Blues this week. That's excellent.
That's right.
Let's get on with the questions. This is going to be a hard one for you. Favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory? What is it, Ross?
Wow, the favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memories. I really have to go right back to I think probably. I mean, we're at Wembley, 91, 92 against Kidderminster Harriers, and that was kind of my first massive football match ever, really. So to be there, to be at Wembley. I've got to say that, and then the year after to go back to Wembley to win the league. You know, the 91 season was a disappointment. Colchester pipped us to the post in rising up to the Football League. But those first memories of supporting Wycombe, of going with this throng of dark and light blue down Wembley Way. Those will stay with me forever, Phil.
It's Stuart Cash in possession then. Steve Guppy hugging this left touchline as ever. And that's a marvellous run by Mark West, and he's got away from the defenders and beaten the offside trap. West in possession here. Scott comes in on the near post, and it's in. Wycombe have taken the lead. Keith Scott, the scorer. 16 minutes gone, and Wycombe are in front here. A tremendous ball down the line by Guppy. Mark West cleverly beat the Kidderminster offside trap, and as Keith Scott came to meet it on the near post, he just got the toe to the ball and forced it over the line. 1-1 then, as Crusoe clears his lines, and a good clearance too. It's found Scott away from his marker again here, and that's a lovely ball, and Mark West has scored. A magnificent goal. It's 2-1 to Wycombe Wanderers. A brilliant goal by West. Well, if that's the goal that wins the FA Trophy, it was a goal worthy of winning any big Wembley occasion. A magnificent header.
I'm like you. My first ever game at Wembley, the old Wembley, in old money with the Twin Towers, was the Wycombe Kidderminster game. And I think there's something about that game, the winning goal, Mark West's header. If someone had asked me as a young boy to describe a goal fitting of winning any cup final, a diving header from Mark West from the pinpoint Keith Scott cross, it's like Roy of the Rover stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a kid growing up and just kind of finding football through my mates at school, and then being the only one at my school who supported Wycombe Wanderers, and just trying to push that forward, and then being able to go to Wembley and be there and realise that I'm actually not the only one. There were thousands and thousands of Blues supporters there with me. It was just an amazing feeling.
One of the things sometimes when people talk to me about football who don't understand football, I always say, like, supporting a football club is being part of something bigger than yourself. And it's like this whole kind of thing. And you describing the throngs of people at Wembley. It was, I think, 30,000 people maybe for the Kidderminster final. But then now, people like yourself and that go around the world wearing the Wycombe badge and other things. It is very much about being part of something bigger than yourself, and all of the parts combined. It just goes bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. I mean, supporting a classic smaller team. We've always kind of been the underdogs, really, and just people asking you, who do you support, or seeing the badge on whatever I'm wearing, and being able to talk to them about Wycombe, and even following the stories of the Spanish guys who are coming, the Media Inglesa, who are coming over to watch the mighty Blues there. It really does fill my heart with joy.
Amazing
Absolutely.
stuff. Well, Kidderminster Harriers final FA Trophy, that is a fantastic entry into the Till Death Us Do Part annals. Let's move on to the current day. Your favourite player in the current squad?
Well, this one I had to think long and hard about, Phil. I mean, I was just going through and, listening to you, of course, every week. And there was Taff on the Ryan Taffazoli on the show on comms the other day. And just realizing that these are people who I've known, who I've worked with there in that championship season. I've got to say, there's Taff there, of course, Jack Grimmer, Jason McCarthy, David Wheeler was of course there, and Gareth McCleary. So of the players, I really can't say one of those above the other. They're all fantastic people, and of course, the gaffer, Matt Bloomfield, who is just a fantastic guy, and it was a pleasure working with him, and it's just great to have him as gaffer of the club.
Gareth McCleary is a player that often gets sort of mentioned in this feature, but you must be loving the fact that at the age of 37, he's probably in the form of his Wycombe career.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, he really doesn't age. I'm not sure what kind of deal he's done with the devil, but the man does not age. And he's actually from Cayman's neighbour, Jamaica, which is just another fantastic piece of synchronicity in the whole Wycombe puzzle.
Well, I think we can allow you to put in a raft of players for this because of your special connection with it. And also shout out to Taff as well, because his debut on commentary the other week, he was excellent, wasn't he?
He was absolutely phenomenal. Gave some really nice insight into how a player's looking at the match unfold. Obviously, he's normally either on the pitch or on the touchline. So for him to have that bird's eye view that you have in the Bill Turnbull gantry there, phenomenal.
Well, he's so tall. He often has a bird's eye view of most things in life. But yeah, he was excellent. Right then, on to something borrowed. Now, this is where we ask you either for your favourite ever loanee that Wycombe Wanderers ever had, or player that you wish that we'd signed but we never did or never have.
Well, I mean, this one's a little bit of both, and I'm sure many people have the memories of Alfie Mawson's first stint with the Blues, and that really, I was so excited for him to sign. He was on the cusp of signing, and then suddenly this absolutely phenomenal goal, and everyone in the Football League seemed to perk their ears up and say, "Hey, who's this lad?" And from there, it all kind of well, it's water under the bridge. But that's one that I really feel got away. We had him on the hook, and he still got away. It was absolutely devastating at the time. I mean, full respect to Alfie, he went on to do amazing things. But I really, really wish we'd got him at exactly that time. That was crushing when he didn't sign for us in the end.
But like a lot of players in the recent history, they come back, and you've got a bit of insight into that because you've been inside the camp. So what do you think is it that means that when the phone comes from Wycombe Wanderers, people go, yeah, I'm going to go back? Because Alfie said there was only one club he would go back to, and it was Wycombe.
Well, exactly. And of course, one of the players who's recently returned is Fred Onyedinma, who was there when I was kitman. And it's just a group mentality. It was a pleasure going to work with the lads every day. I mean, there was the banter, there was the discipline, there was the kind of pushing each other there in the team to always be better, to score more, to get better tackles, to really show. And I mean, Josh Scowen really shows this week in, week out, where he's just wanting the ball every time, and I feel like that's the real glue that holds the Wycombe ethos together, really.
Well, a good friend of Alfie's as well, Josh Scowen. We saw Alfie in the week, Ross, at the Wycombe Wanderers Golf Day.
Okay.
And I'm happy to report that he is an absolutely brilliant golfer, which will probably come as no surprise to you.
Mate, I mean, some people get all the luck, don't they, really? I mean, phenomenal footballer, phenomenal golfer. It's just, where does it end? The talent is there for all to see, isn't it?
Absolutely. Ross, that's another good answer for this feature. Alfie Mawson going in to the Till Death Us Do Part annals. And final question, and as a former kit man, this may influence your answer. It's something blue, an idea for a piece of merchandise or something for the club to sell in the shop that we aren't already doing. What do you reckon, Ross?
Well, I thought it was great when Pete Cohig came with the fancy shirts and all that. It was nice to have something different that wasn't kind of pure kit, but that kind of suggests Wycombe Wanderers. I love kind of finding bits and bobs that are the Wycombe colours, but that aren't sort of the classic pieces of kit. I was discussing it with the family here. We came up with a couple of other things. I mean, I love the Wycombe bags, the Wycombe tote bags. Those are great for traveling. I know they used to have them in the shop. I didn't see them online now. So that was one that I really like. Also, kind of charging banks and this kind of thing, maybe a little reading light or something, anything with the Wycombe Swan in there. Good for me.
Anything that you might need in jungle life, because you're looking in quite a rural setting at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's difficult times. It's dry season here, so there have been forest fires or grass fires around the place. I mean, it's difficult to say. We can't really have a Wycombe Wanderers rake or a fire batter. I'll just have to have the stickers and put them on all my gear.
So, as I mentioned earlier on, Ross, you send in pictures normally when we're at games, and I've been staggered at some of the places that you've sent me pictures from of you watching games, sort of yoga retreats and meditation retreats in Ecuador. I think there was one in Gdansk the other week, Norway, Cayman Islands. You seem to be everywhere spreading the word of Wycombe Wanderers. What's the most unusual place you've watched the game?
Well, I tell you, normally it's also down to what the internet's doing, where I have the internet, and obviously if I'm watching the game and not just listening, then it takes a lot of megabytes there. So one time I met a Luton fan in the Cayman Islands, and we went down to the beach and watched the match together under a parasol with the beautiful Caribbean waters in the background. I mean, that's probably the highlight of those places ever, having watched Wycombe. Unfortunately, they turned us over 1-0, a right last-minute goal. It was a crying shame, and he packed up his tote bag and headed off.
Wow, what a beautiful image there. You know, you painted the picture beautifully, and then you kind of ruined it all by saying there's a Luton fan with you.
Oh, mate, I know. Well, what can you do, eh? He had the internet, like I said.
Probably
Yeah.
better internet than in Luton, I'd imagine. So there we go.
Yeah, I reckon. Hey, I reckon. I remember going to Luton as kit man, and my goodness, just to get to the changing rooms, you had to go sort of past the kitchen, through the side doors, and it was a real maze just to get in there, I tell you.
I remember that game well because I remember calling it as the Spinal Tap game because Wycombe came out late for the second half, didn't they? And it was Luton saying, "Oh, Wycombe are up to their old tricks again," but no, because of the COVID situation, it's different changing rooms, and it was a Hello Cleveland moment, wasn't it?
That was exactly it. We had to go on a maze through the blooming depths of the stadium just to get out to the pitch. So I think someone took a wrong turn somewhere and took them another 5 just to find their way out.
I have to ask you as well. There's a couple of games. I messaged JJ earlier to say I'm speaking to you, and he refreshed my memory of a couple of those games in the Championship season. He said the first thing that springs to mind is when there were some QPR fans up on the hill when Wycombe played QPR at Adams Park, I think just before Christmas, who were giving it some stick up on the hill, and I think you gave them some back, and JJ remembers that. And the other one I remember is the Brentford manager, Thomas Frank, because you've mentioned your sort of Norwegian connections. I think Thomas is Danish, but I think you managed to kind of give him a volley of something or other, but in a language that he understood and probably wasn't quite expecting.
No, indeed, that was a lot of fun. That just being able to kind of share a bit of banter, and he was quite taken aback when I said that Brentford were lucky to take us on that one. And it was that whole season just being there and kind of being able to have a bit of banter with the managers and opposition players. I remember there was a great game where I was told to, if I saw any towels at the side, to move them to the side, and the opposition players and I were having a right back and forth about where are your towels, where are your towels. Oh mate, there are some great memories there that will stay with me for the rest of my life. So it's a pleasure, and I'm very proud to have worked for the club and to have been integral in that Championship season. We almost did it.
Amazing. And you're still flying the flag as a Wycombe Wanderers fan, a committed Wycombe Wanderers fan now in Ecuador. So if any Wycombe fans are travelling through Ecuador, they've got to look you up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm way down south here, almost towards the Peruvian border. It's a lovely little town. It's the Valley of Longevity. I've just moved my dad out from, he was in the Cayman Islands for going on 50 years. So he's just come out to live with myself and my wife here in Ecuador. And yeah, we're absolutely loving it. We're hoping he'll live another 15 to 20. And yeah, we're as I say, spreading the Wycombe word, and will be for the rest of my life. So.
Well, Ross, you take care, and I look forward to my messages on match day from you when you're tuning in. It means the world to me when I'm up on a cold country somewhere that you're probably in a very tropical rainforest somewhere, keeping an eye or an ear on the game. Good stuff, mate.
Yes, absolutely, Phil. Absolutely. Well, it sounds like they're feeding you well anyway. It sounds like you're getting treats from all quarters there when you're up in the gantry. But I understand it can be a cold old way. Winter's coming for you guys. Here we've got no summer and winter. It's just dry season and wet season. So we're actually looking forward to a bit of the rain. Now it's rained once in 3 months. So yeah, we're all looking forward to a bit more rain, keep the grass green, and I'll be following the Wycombe till I die. So thank you so much for all you do, Phil. It's always a pleasure hearing you on a match day.
That's it for this week's show. Many thanks to Ross. And if you'd like to take part in Till Death Us Do Part, then email us media@wwfc.com. We'll be back next week with news of Wycombe's game against Leyton Orient. Please remember to leave a review, subscribe, retweet, share, spread the word, and come on you Blues.